Now we can do that. Hey, welcome everyone to our Success Mastermind for Monday, 21 March 2022. John Lavenia here with you. Is it the first day of spring? Is it the equinox? I think it is. I think it is the equinox today. Happy spring equinox to you all. I might be half a day off or something like that, but excited to be here with everyone. You know, it's just today that I did notice that when the sun comes up, that it's coming up much more east instead of southeast. So maybe this is the equinox. And then, right, and then it goes further north. Anyway, that's how it exists for me here at my latitude. But good to see you all. I know we've got some great cognitions coming out of this book that we're reading, and that we'll be reviewing the next two chapters of tonight. Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff, Presenting, Persuading, and Winning the Deal. Wow. I'm going to send out an email when we're done here, just to remind everyone of our book study group. That's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time tonight. And so, look, anybody who's in sales, and in my assessment, that's everybody, you got to read this book. You got to read this book. It is the best explanation of posture that, and he uses different words, lots of different words, but best explanation of it that I've ever read. He also debunks some of the mythology, you know, that keeps people running around thinking, oh, I can't sell, I can't do this. It's all about that posture. So, by the way, you can invite friends who are interested in that sort of reading material and who want to discuss it by sending them to jlsuccessmastermind.com/books. And that is just get on the book reading list and for free. So anyway, there's that. It's good to see you all. I'm actually going to give you a topic just from my rereading of this book, something that's coming up for me, not so much specifically with selling to another or others, okay, but in how we're confronting life. One of the things that Oren Klaff talks about in this book is the idea of prizing and framing, okay, and the difference between the prize and a commodity. So I want you to think about this as it relates to how you just go through life and how you perceive either things happening to you or you making things happen. Think of it like this in terms of, in these terms. So if you are a commodity, if you are just another cog in the wheel, if you are just someone who's, you know, fulfilling whatever menial obligatory function as you go through life, then you're going to feel like a commodity, right? That's how it's going to feel. It's like, do I even matter? Is my work important? What I think, does that, I mean, who cares, right? So any of you experience that? Of course, we've all experienced it from time to time, okay? On the other hand, if you are the prize, if you walk with a swagger in your step, if when you shake somebody's hand for the first time and look them in the eye, they know exactly who you are, right? You're the advancing man or woman. You're causing stuff to happen, right? Now, do you feel like a commodity? And have you had that experience? You have. So we've had both. We've had both experiences. So here's the question. Can we deliberately choose them? And I think the answer is yes. Just like here, where Oren Klaff is saying he put 10,000 hours into becoming a great pitch man, all right? Somebody who can convince, persuade, get the deal, and do it with a smile on his face, and do it so that all parties, you know, can have what they want, right? Because really, what are we doing in sales? Well, hopefully it's the same thing we're doing in other areas of life, right? Where we're benefiting all involved, hopefully, right? In fact, Napoleon Hill said, I will engage in no transaction that does not benefit all parties involved. So that's a good policy to have. Steve Covey, in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People book, one of the habits was think win-win. So if we've got good intentions, good ethics, good integrity, and we're going forth into life, into the world, isn't it our our opportunity? Isn't it good and right for us to experience that as the prize? Like we're the prize, not trying to get, because the prize is out there somewhere, but we're the prize. And so one of the things that that resonated with me as I was reading this book, as it relates to communicating with other people and gaining the let's say the power frame, what he talks about in the book, right? It's kind of framing. It's like, I've got the golden goose, and guys, we've talked about this before, right? We've talked about the whole idea of going into, let's say, a presentation, and knowing that you've got the golden goose or the holy grail or whatever the metaphorical thing that you'd like to consider is. Okay, but you go in already knowing that, and the whole experience is different. Now, of course, most people don't do that. All right, if you could just imagine, here's the desperate salesperson trying to get the deal, right? And they're trying so hard to convince you. You know that you're the prize, they're the commodity, or their product, their offer is the commodity. You can go buy it anywhere. But when that situation's reversed, okay, let's say that there's a limited amount, right? Why do people stand in line at, like Black Friday sales? Well, I've got some opinions about it, but why do they stand in line to get the limited edition item or the toy that, everybody's going to run out of? Why do they do that? Because that's the prize. They're not the prize. They get to stand in line and with the other commodity people there, ready to hand over their money for whatever the item is. All right. I see you, Ingrid. I see you, Missy. Hey, Ingrid's internet's working. That's amazing. So they're not the prize. They're the commodity. All right. And so the offer, whatever the item is, the limited edition, whatever, that's the prize. All right. We've got to go into life, I think. Okay. We've got to go as the prize. We can't go as the commodity. So when let's say that you have, let's take it completely out of a sales environment now. All right. And then we'll bring it back into there. So let's say you're just going, you're in the supermarket, you're in the grocery store, right? And you're walking through the aisles and you're selecting items to put into your cart. And then you go up to the cash register, assuming that they have a cashier and that it's not just check yourself out, which I'll tell you a funny story about here in just a minute. But this is an opportunity. And again, you're not trying to sell anything at this moment, but this is an opportunity as you confront the cashier and they confront you. This is a grand meeting. This could be transformational. This could be, this could be the thing that makes that cashier have a better day. And just because they met you and you had a smile on your face, not only did you give them, think about the impression of increase, the advancing man or woman. Not only did you give them the money in exchange for the products, but you also gave them a compliment. I love that brooch, your hair or whatever, something nice, right? Just say something nice, brighten their day. And maybe that person then goes ahead because you're feeling like the prize, right? Because you are. And how fortunate for them that they got to meet you that day for 30 seconds or whatever it was. But now later that day, they go and they be nice to somebody else and they let somebody else in when they're driving and they're courtesy, right? Courtesy. And then that person who they let into the lane and they go and they have a good time with their kids or whatever. And the kids grow up to, cure cancer or something. I don't know, but it's, and I can't account for this. I can't account for, and neither can you. And we don't have to, okay? But just the fact that you showed up causative, and as the prize, as the person who's confronting life fully and not, just a commodity bumping along. Sorry, guys, I got to take my phone out of my pocket. It is friggin' blowing up in my pocket. Why do people constantly? I know why, because I'm the prize. That's why. They're not in session. That's why they're not here. They're I don't even know what this was, spam or something. But when you have that experience deliberately, knowingly causing increase because you've got the golden goose. You are the golden goose, right? Now people have, you get to pay it forward. Hopefully they will. All right. I'll bring this back into the sales. Oh, before I do that, tell you a funny story. So right down at the end of my street, there is a Walmart neighborhood market. It's not like a department store Walmart. It's like a grocery store, like any other, supermarket you might walk into. But this one's branded Walmart. And it's a green sign instead of blue. And I needed something like right now. I needed something. What was it? Half gallon of milk or whatever. So I'm just going to go right to the closest store, and there it is. Right. So, I mean, not 3 blocks away. So I get what I needed, and they apparently all of the cash registers, all of them are self-checkout. And there, I guess maybe there was like a big rush from the retirement homes or something, but it's like I was younger than everybody in there by at least 30 years, and God bless them. Okay, the slowest, most confused people, and I watched one lady weighing an onion. It had to be 10 minutes where she was trying to get the weight of one onion, and then the red lights are coming on. Beep, 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 like assistance needed at this register, assistance needed at that register, and like doesn't matter which line you're getting in because the lights are going off. And there was one employee running around trying to get everybody's cash registers working. She was having a rough day. When did that happen? I don't know. There must have been some cashier somewhere helping people check out, but it took me like 20 minutes to buy a half gallon of milk. Anyway, 2022, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the sales world. All right. So prize versus commodity. Here's what I'm thinking. And I've told you the story before. Ingrid says, I never do that. Leave if they have that going. Okay. Well, I needed a half gallon of milk, like right friggin' now. And right now is 20 minutes. So, and I didn't want to drive too far because I'll tell you what, having moved from Arizona to Florida, it takes forever to get anywhere here. Like if something's 4 miles away in Arizona, I'll be there in like 30 seconds. If something's 4 miles away in Arizona, in Florida, pack a lunch. I mean, the traffic lights, you just sit there, like put it in park, get the air conditioning going, pick your favorite music, right? Man, it takes forever. Okay, but everything's a lot closer together here because it's the East instead of the West where everything's really spread out. So here's another example of pricing versus being a commodity. All right, car dealership. You've all seen this. You've all experienced it. So here is the car salesman, and here's all the cars, and on walks the customer. Now, in that scenario, it's exceedingly easy to see the customer as the prize. And a lot of times the salespeople are set up, well, in that space, in that industry, you've got what's called ups. Bob, you're up. That's your up over there. So Mr. and Mrs. Customer walked onto the parking lot to look at cars. That's called an up. And whoever's next on the list, you get to go try and sell them something, right? So this is your big opportunity. You might not have another opportunity for hours. This is your up, all right? And what does every customer say when they come onto the lot and the salesperson walks up to them? Just looking. Yeah, okay, of course you are. Just looking. So Bob loses. And if he can make a deal, he's probably going to drop his pants on price. And and that's if he can even close the deal. So when I was in that space, out of desperation, because it's any bozo can show up and get into car sales and make $100,000 a year or whatever, and trade your entire life for it. By the way, it is a rough go, but I did something different, and I've told you guys this before. But this is again another demonstration of pricing as it relates to just how you occur in the life, with other people. And so Mr. and Mrs. Customer walks on the lot. John, you're up. But instead of accosting the customer and getting the response just looking, which I know is going to happen, I set myself up as the prize. Yeah, there's all these cars. Okay. And here's these customers who think like they're the prize, like, oh, we're scared. There's going to be sharks in the water. Somebody's going to try and sell us something, God forbid. Okay. So rather than doing all that, because I know it's going to happen, all I did was got a pad and a pen, and I walked out towards the customer, near the customer, but not to the customer. And I walked to vehicles and I started taking down notes on different vehicles. I didn't know, I didn't need to take notes. I'm just looking at cars and just jotting stuff down. Oh, hey folks, how you doing? Ignoring them almost. Courteous. Hey folks, walk over there. Kind of go around the customers to the other car I need to take notes on. Hey folks, looking, you guys just looking today, right? Yeah, just looking. Ah, cool. Anything in particular you're looking for? Maybe I can point you in the right direction. See, I'm busy. I'm the prize. I'm apparently the manager. I'm taking the inventory on these prize cars right here. And oh yeah, we're looking for minivans today. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I can do this later. We got some vans that just came in back there. Here, come with me. Now they're following me. I'm the prize. I'm the prize. Okay. I know stuff that they don't know. They're interested in that. And I got that out of them. I got that out because I'm not accosting them. I'm not scary. I'm not a shark. I'm so busy. But how gracious of me that I'm going to stop taking my notes to come help these people who I'm terribly busy. But after all, they're here on the lot. Let me go ahead and do my note taking later. Guys, that was just a device. That's just a device, a prop. There were no notes. Okay, but it was a way for me to get in communication with someone and for them to not be scared of me. I sold a lot of cars, by the way. But it's about that. Here's where I'm going with all this. And I guess what this topic is today. It's about being conscious enough, no matter what you're doing in life, to remember how friggin' powerful you are, how causative you are, how you are the prize. You're not just a commodity. So when people experience that, and obviously you got to know it for yourself, right? You got to experience it. Otherwise, they have no shot of experiencing it. And I'm not talking about conceit or arrogance or anything like that. It's terribly subtle. Okay. But it's also terribly obvious to you when you're not so concerned, attached, desperate, right? It's so obvious to you because now it could be an easy flowing experience, whatever we're talking about in life. Saying hi to the, complimenting the cashier if there is one at the place when you buy your half gallon of milk, or, doing high stakes, high ticket sales. It's the same thing. Who's showing up? A commodity? Is that who's showing up? You're just another cog in the wheel? Is that who you are? Well, good luck to you. Or someone who can transform lives just by you showing up and being awake. And to that end, I've attempted to remember as often as possible, John, your cause. You're causing all this. These customers on this lot, that cashier at that store, the guy with the garbage men. I got garbage men coming here today. They should have been here by now. And if I'm not sitting at my desk at the moment they show up, I'm going to run out there and ask them about taking some of this. You guys know I've been remodeling my my garage, which is it's almost done. It's almost done. I'm this close to having the car parked in the garage, which means I'm officially moved in. I know, Missy, you've lived in your house for 17 years. The car still isn't in the garage, but my standards are not your standard. They're different. We're different. I'm not saying good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm just saying they're different. But I ripped all this wood out of the garage. And so I got this pile of wood and all kinds of stuff that they had stuffed in. It's amazing. It's amazing how much stuff. Supposedly the house was cleaned out before they sold it, right? Yeah. Okay. So I might have to get like one of those, either little bag dumpster things, like temporary, like, what do they call it? A bag stir or something. or maybe get a truck and take it to the dump. But maybe I could schmooze these guys. Maybe I could be like, hey guys, how you guys doing today, man? You guys do a great job. Yeah. Hey, can I buy you lunch today? By the way, I've got this bulk trash over there. I'm just wondering like what to do with it. I mean, you got a truck right here. And, Andrew Jackson said, you guys should probably have lunch today. All right, one more story. Since we're talking about Andrew Jackson, he's on the cover, on the face guy on the $20 bill, United States. But back to the car world. I'd gotten so good at selling cars that they made me a manager. That's typically how it works. And so I was running this whole business development center where we had people working the phones. So people would call in, hey, I'm interested in the white Toyota. Okay, great. And their job was to get them in the door to buy maybe the white Toyota, maybe something totally different. I don't know, but get them in the door. And so I was running the phone people and internet. And we would have lunch. Our department would get together. We'd throw some money in the pot, and the roach coach, the guy with the mobile, food truck, who was a good cook, by the way. He would come around every day and sell us lunch. So on Saturdays, which is the busiest day of the week, we would pool our money and we would make a nice order. I'd actually call the guy on the coach and be like, hey, we got $75 today. Make us lunch. And he'd be great. And so I put in a policy in my department that if you show up late for our Saturday morning meeting, so we have a group huddle at 8:00 in the morning or whatever it is before we open the doors to the public, right? If you show up late, you got to throw $10 in the pot. Okay, have to. And I called it the Hamilton Club because Alexander Hamilton's on the $10 bill. So that was the Hamilton Club. And it got to the point where other departments saw that we were eating nice lunch. Okay, so basically the latecomers got to pay for everybody's lunch. And then other people wanted in on that. They're like, hey, could I throw $10? They're not even in my department. Yeah, I mean, you can join the Hamilton Club if you want. We were doing orders for like, all right, I got $200 today, right? We want the chicken. We want give us something gourmet. We want something nice, right? Oh, friggin' tray of lasagna. So it got to be really popular, the Hamilton Club. But it came out of an idea that if you can't be on time, be early, right? And so if you miss the meeting, that's Alexander Hamilton just told you that you're buying lunch. That's what he just said, right? So anyway, I love you guys. I hope you got something out of this. I'm excited to talk tonight about these next 2 chapters from Pitch Anything, but just the whole idea of pricing, just the old idea of not being a commodity yourself, right? Giving yourself a little bit of altitude, which you deserve to do, and is warranted. Okay. And even if it's something as seemingly unconsequential as complimenting the cashier. Okay. You're the advancing man. You're the advancing woman. You see how these are the same principles we've studied in other books, right? The impression of increase, advancing man, all that stuff. That's Wally Waddles 100 years ago. Here's Oren Klaff telling you to be the prize and to frame the situation, right? Same philosophy, different approach, different words. That's why we read more than one book, right? That's why we read. So anyway, love you guys. Thoughts? Who's got some thoughts? By the way, it's so good to see Ingrid. I just want to single out Ingrid for a minute. Ingrid, please call me like today, if you can. Please call me. We got works to do.
Oh yeah, sure. I will.
Okay, good. Do that. Where's Missy? Where she is?
I waited for people to raise their hands. They didn't do it. So
Yeah, that's okay.
I advanced myself because I'm the prize right now.
Mm-hmm.
We were watching The Sting the other day.
Oh, classic.
I'm sure you've seen it, right? So every time something happened, then we'll be confused as the living daylights out of me. So Bob has got to explain the whole thing all the time. But he said, oh, he just framed him from the book.
Uh-huh.
He said he won that. And then the next thing that happened, he'd say, what was the other phrase? besides frame, what was it? What's in that book, in that chapter? Oh my God.
Power frame, time frame.
He was
Intrigue.
saying the whole thing, through the whole movie. He was
Mhm.
saying all this, that he just got his frame broken.
Right.
And so it was very interesting that he was saying that and putting the book to use, because I actually understood the movie better. I mean, I
Right.
saw it in 1973 when it came out all the way through. Since then, only dribs and drabs. But when he did that through that movie, using the book that we're reading, now I can understand the movie, because now I understand how they make their marks and how they, the sting, the whatever it's called, even with the mark, the point, the hook, the this, the that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, criminals do it too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
these are very pleasant criminals, but no, I saw it in a whole different way just through that movie. And watch the movie, and you could see how Paul Newman got the frame on the guy from Jaws, what's his name, Robert Shaw, and then Robert Redford lost his frame, and it was a very, very interesting the way Bob took me through the film using the book, so to speak. So
Right.
these people are probably too young to have ever seen the movie, but whatever. That's my prize that I'm giving to everyone to the
Good.
day.
Well, I was 3 when it came out. I'm going to have to,
Little brat.
yeah. 1973.
You feel like it could be your babysitter, okay? Because I don't like that.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I need babysitting. So
How old
thank
was
you
I?
for
It's born
showing.
1958. I can't do the math. November, so practically 15.
Unreal. There you
Anyway,
go.
watch the movie, people, and you can apply the book to the movie.
All right. The Sting is on your watching list, everyone. Put Pulp Fiction on that list too. That's an amazing movie. A little bit confusing at first. Watch it a couple times. That's a classic, right, Lindsay? Bring out the GIMP.
I had to watch that one a couple of times.
Yeah. All right. Lindsay, was there something else you wanted to say about this?
No, I just forgot to mute my mic. Sorry.
Okay, very good. Right, we got Catherine's here, Daisy, Linda. Any other thoughts on this idea of not being a commodity, being the prize, and showing up as such in life? Any other thoughts?
If I may just add, since I didn't really apply what you said, I missed the very beginning. But I have always tried to do that in my life. I always, with the cashier, oh, that's so pretty. Where'd you get that pocketbook? Your hair looks really good. That's the haircut I always wanted. I'm doing it through, it's genuine, because otherwise I wouldn't say it. I'm not going to say something if I don't really believe it. So I just have never used this tool and thought of myself as that way. So that is what has transformed my life in these teachings through you, to realize that I'm doing that naturally. So now I can apply it to my entrepreneurial life, which I never had before. And it's transforming my physical life and my emotional life and my physiological, I said that, and it's going to heal me physically. All this teaching is going to heal me physically. And people may not believe that, but it's absolutely true. And I'm putting that on my website. My website is completely changed now from being about conditions to overcoming the conditions, and how you have to use your mindset, and you have to think from being the well person. You can't sit in that bed like I did, not being able to move for 3 years. I couldn't turn 1 inch. You can't live from that. But I had read Neville Goddard, and I did live from the end. I did believe. I would talk to my future self. Wasn't sick, and that's how I think I saved my life through that. But again, after that, after I got on medications, it's almost like I forgot it all. I can live again, but I wasn't living. I was just listening. So all these teachings are so important, and we must pass them on to people. And we must, everybody, I'm even putting my website for them to come take a 2-week trial. And there's so much there. You can't believe, you could do it from your bed. You don't have to get up. You can just, because a lot of people with these conditions can't But they have computers, they communicate, they can watch it through there. They can see. They don't need 2 weeks to see how it's going to change their lives if they have this condition. So thank you again.
Oh, my
Thank
pleasure.
you for the platform.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, well, I mean, that's why it's there, right? I mean, come try it out for 2 weeks, right? This mastermind group has done tremendous things for me, as well as obviously, many others. But the whole idea of you mentioned how your thinking is changing your physical health. There have been many reports where, people say, like doctors say that, a lot of this stuff is psychosomatic. So we make ourselves sick. And I think about in modern times, the push towards having the population live in fear of an invisible, thing that could take you out and all this. What an unbelievable disservice. Unbelievable, heinous. And I think the world has woken up to a large degree. And I think people have had enough. But we have right now, we've got a lot of people who could use to feel a bit more causative, right? A bit more empowered. And not so, cowed under. Understand, guys, that if you're not the prize, right, there's plenty of other outside forces that will happily be. So this is incumbent upon you now, right, to take charge of your own mindset and to do that, not just in the quiet of your inner sanctum, but also when you go out in the world to demonstrate that. It's incumbent upon you. Otherwise, you get to be controlled. Lindsay, you got a thought about that?
What I did in this mastermind has really been amazing for me, because I was laughing because I got hung up on the phone like 3 times the other day. But I just turned around and sent a message. I was like, did we get disconnected, or did you hang up on me? Like, really, you hung up on me? I got apologies from 3 people and said, I just don't have time right now. I said, oh, we've got my number. Just call me back. But I just thought I would have never done that. I would have just cowered down. But yeah, just you gotta show up as the prize.
Yeah.
That you are.
And remind them that you've got what they want.
That's right.
Right. Right. If people knew that you had what they wanted, they wouldn't hang up on you. Right. Ingrid?
Yeah. It all
Yeah.
comes down to respect and gratitude, doesn't it?
Respect has a part to do with it. Gratitude. Yeah, that's something that you experience, which builds yourself up. Gratitude is for you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm talking about you being built up. Self-edification. Beautiful, Ingrid. And look, you've got it. I know you've got it, right? Because I've seen you operate, Ingrid, and you're not a shy little, earthworm or something, right? You've got some muscle. I know who you are, and other people get to know who you are. Yeah. Missy says Ingrid has it in spades. Yeah, Ingrid's the prize, and she knows it. So, and again, that's not an arrogance, right? She's also coachable, right? So
Everybody's the prize.
if they decide to be,
They just have to make it
Yeah.
so. Remember? Make
Yeah.
it so.
make it so. Right. All right, good stuff. Thank you, my friends. I'll be back here at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight for chapters 3 and 4 from Pitch Anything by Oren Claff. I will see you then. In the meantime, make it a